How's it going, everybody? Raising Hell here, and welcome back to another mission of the military campaign for Stronghold 3. Today we'll be playing mission number 3, the Three Forts.
We thought that we were safe. They came at dawn, and they surprised us. We thought that we were hurting them, and we were. We had 3 of these forts to escape to just for this sort of occasion. We had to prepare defenses, build walls, fortify ourselves in order to hold off the Jackal's forces.
The enemy's scouts have discovered our location and the Jackal is marching swiftly towards us. Use the 3 prepared forts to hold off the enemy long enough to allow the women and baggage of your newly formed guerrilla army to escape northwards.
Okay, so we're going to change the difficulty to hard and get started.
Place your stockpile, my lord.
Okay, here we are. Let's get going because we know that we don't have a whole lot of time here. I see some trees up there. We'll put it right about here. The granary can go just a little bit above it. Needs to begin some food production early on, as well as the wood camp. We have a decent amount of starting wood with us. Like, even a simple house there is going to take 180 wood. I mean 80 wood to build. That leaves me with 100 left? I don't know. Thought I had 180. Maybe I only had 160 after all. So, the first time I tried to load this mission, it was really interesting because it took longer than any mission I can recall, loading. It was just a ridiculous amount of time. Let's say 3 minutes. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe I had to rebuild some asset file packs or something. But I'd never seen that before. Here we have the gatehouse. It does a little wobbly thing. That's not the most precise way to describe it.
The enemy are attacking.
Okay, and here comes the enemy. We start with these little forts, and I think we're going to fall back to this one. At least the first time anyway. Because generally there is strength in numbers.
Morning, boss.
So, I guess I'm just going to try planting the barracks right about here, because it doesn't want to be this close to the mountain. I think this is the closest I can get. I guess it's going to go right there. And we also want an armory. We could make the armory part of the wall, but I think we should have it over here by the stockpile instead. And start recruiting men-at-arms right away. I'm going to have these rally over here if possible. And hopefully the idea there is kind of that they're not going to get stuck. Ooh, catapults. So what I'm going to do here, we have a little bit of a watchtower. I'm going to grab these men-at-arms. Is that not a watchtower? That's a beacon tower. What's the difference? Beacon tower can illuminate an area. Okay, let's retreat again then. I'm going to retreat all the way back.
Keep your helmet on, squad.
I thought that was a tower that I could actually hide in and throw spears from. But obviously it's not. So plan B is now in action. Can we build stone walls? No. Really? We're stuck with the walls we have? What? Can that be? I mean, we can build stake traps. Wow. It's a very limited mission. Not even allowed to build any wood walls. Okay, let's put up another wood camp then. Dead. As well as a couple more dairy farm. Well, a couple more farms. 1 dairy and 1 apple. Okay, so what I'm going to do is try to get the men-at-arms here on top of the barracks.
Ready, sir. My lord?
I think I'm going to try to use the peasants to deal with any siege equipment that comes along, so they're going to be outside. The danger here is that my men-at-arms start getting stuck inside the barracks. That can happen. They can get stuck on it. The unit pathing in Stronghold 3 is just terrible when it comes to being around buildings. They get stuck in them all the time, which is really unfortunate. We have enough wood.
Looks lost, and maybe now is a good
So
time to retreat to the second fort.
So let's set up a pole turner's workshop so we can start building more spear. For our, wow, I can't say, for our men-at-arms. There we go. Yeah, the catapult has pretty much done away with that fortification. Out of curiosity, do I get anything back from deleting this stuff? Should have checked my stockpile before I did that. Now I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if you didn't. I think we also want
The enemy have almost overrun us, sire.
Really?
Maybe we should withdraw.
Oh, come on. They just took over one camp. Oh, they also moved past there. I see those guys now. I hope my men-at-arms can do what they need to do. On, throw your spears. Yes, yes. More like it. I remember when this game first came out, there were a lot of people that said archers were not worth it, as they didn't appear to have more range than a standard man-at-arms when, even when positioned on top of a tower. And
Lovely day it is today,
it's
sire.
true that I've not played the game nearly as much as some people, but I think there is plenty of utility for archers. I just like the fact that they can continue to shoot. You know, with the men-at-arms, they have one spear. They throw the spear, then they have to wait for another one. You know, they have to wait for a while, much longer than an archer, to get their spear back so they can throw it again. I mean, it might do a little bit more damage, but ultimately, I think there is just inherently value in sustainable firepower. That's simply an option you do not see for men-at-arms, which is why I like archers, even in Stronghold 3. Even if they don't have much armor defense bonus when placed on top of walls and other towers, walls, whatever kind of defensive structure that you could fortify yourself on.
We are almost out of food, sire.
Yes,
The enemy are attacking.
I placed down another hovel, I suppose, a little bit too soon before the apple farms
Can't place that there.
quite fully functioning. They mentioned it could happen in the hints, if you saw any of them. The recourse is suggesting that the player go ahead and sell some stone to buy more food if I ever ran out.
Are growing, sire.
We do have quite a bit of stone.
Not enough goods.
Doesn't sell for much. Noticed, it seems like goods in Stronghold 3 sell for a little bit less than they did in games previous, like Stronghold Legends. But, wow, what caused those catapults to break? Is it because of the siege? All the units died? I'm not sure if that causes the catapults to break or not. Or to fall apart, self-destruct. Those would be a more fitting description of them. So, how are the candle services doing? Consuming 3 a day and producing 8, so we're doing just fine. See here, daily consumption, daily supply. Oh, it looks like it's bugged. I know I'm making more than 0. Let's get these guys,
They've got better weapons
these
than us.
peasants, to destroy the catapults. They're going to take down my walls otherwise. Ooh, taking a lot of damage.
Don't like the look of this.
A lot of damage from those men-at-arms. Come on, guys. Look at that.
Great.
They can't make up their minds. If you keep clicking on an area, they will not
Still the
continue to
jackals then
walk.
come, sire. Is there no end of them?
It's another example of the terrible, terrible units in this game. I mean, I hate to complain about it. Really, I do, because I think Stronghold 3 looks like a really great
The
game.
enemy are attacking.
But it's just like such a huge step back from the previous 3D games in terms of how the units just feel, how they handle on the map. Like, I was demonstrating it a second ago. If I select these guys and then I say, okay, walk over here. Now they're walking over there and I say, oh, I don't want them to pause and throw their spears, right? So I'll do this. I'll spam click. They don't move at all. Look at that. In Stronghold Legends, for example, you had spearmen, or the men-at-arms. They have spears, right? And because they have spears, they can throw the spears. And there are times when you want them to move past enemy units without throwing those spears. For whatever reason, maybe you don't want to draw aggro, or maybe you want them to, you know, keep their spears for a more important target. And being able to spam click and continue to move them was important because of that.
Paid for this,
In
you know.
this, in Stronghold 3, you can no longer do that because if you spam click to try to hurry your men-at-arms past a target that they would otherwise aggro onto, they would just stand in place. They would just
Got better weapons than
they
us.
would do that thing where they reorganize, I guess you could say. It's like they're trying to figure out what sort of formation would be best.
On your feet,
See?
boys. Can't we have some horses?
Like,
Great. Let's
what
get walking.
causes that?
Can't we have some horses?
Can we have some horses? Well, we have some catapults coming. You can scavenge something off of those. So, what next?
Yes, sir. Men-at-arms
Got
ready.
some more men-at-arms. Let's get them on the top, on the barracks. That's really the only place we can put them. I don't think we can even build towers now. We can't build defenses of any kind really, except for stake traps. Why are these guys not getting attacked?
Oh, yes.
Over there, get those guys. Fine day.
Warm towards you, my liege.
We have quite productivity. Ooh. We have a lot of positive popularity from being a good lord.
All right, all right.
That's right, because in Stronghold 3, Firefly did try to revive the standard good lord, bad lord that they had kicked out in Stronghold 2 and Stronghold Legends. Like here we have the Orchid Garden, it increases the mood effect by 1. And much like in the former games, Stronghold and Stronghold Crusader, it actually positively impacts your castle's popularity at the cost of productivity. If you're an evil lord, it's the opposite, but pretty straightforward.
For this, innit?
Anybody who is familiar
We're not getting paid for this, you
with
know.
the older Stronghold games, I'm sure would remember that. And when I say the older ones, I meant, you know, Stronghold HD and Stronghold Crusader HD. They're called HD now. Yeah, apparently when those attacks finish, the catapults self-destruct. So much like in Stronghold Kingdoms, an attack cannot exist without actual units. Like if an attack is composed of only siege equipment, it will self-destruct if the units leading it are all gone. What is up with our population? We just need more housing. One nice thing, I would say, one nice change is the fact that a lot of this very important economy information is now in the side panel, or the main drop-down panel here. You don't have to click on the keep, you know. You get these reports, and it also tells you, like, if your economy is balanced, like, are you producing enough to, like, is the economy you have right now sustainable? And in my case, yes, it is. I think. I mean, granted, this could be better. Like, if we take a look over here at the church services, this is a much better summary. Like, daily production, daily consumption, you can see, well, I'm producing more than I'm consuming, so my economy is more than balanced in that aspect. For some reason, they didn't do that with the rations report. They tell you how many you have stored, but they don't tell you, like, how many are produced per day. It just has, like, day supply, so a little bit of an irregularity.
The treasury is increasing.
Ooh, yes. I think we're almost done. Well, no, we're not. Okay, let's speed this up because I'm running out of things to talk about already. I try to keep these somewhat entertaining on that level. Not a whole lot to say about units traversing the map now, is there? There really aren't any clever camera or any sort of clever commands you can do to the camera that I know of, because if you press space you get this, and this is, let's just say, unhelpful because you can't select units that way. It's not like Supreme Commander. Like in Supreme Command, I think it was Supreme Commander anyway, you know, you could command units from this overhead view. You can't do that in Stronghold. So you're always going to be running into this problem of, despite the fact that those guys always go for that part of my wall. Stop doing that.
Keep ranks.
Despite the fact that you can see a very nice overhead view, it's ultimately quite useless because you can't command anything from that perspective. Let's
The enemy are
repair that wall.
Yes, sir. Moving out.
Looks like my men-at-arms are going to be pulling double duty outside. Let's see here. We have a lot of spears. I just need to remember to recruit them.
Moving,
As you can see, since we do have some happy buildings in our castle, the health of my units is increased. So that's a bit of a change in the former Stronghold games, in which
Recruits needed, sire.
castle buildings, what were those things called specific? Decorative buildings, I suppose. I'm looking for them, but is this
A
it?
royal visit, sire.
Yes, they are
A
called
royal visit
decorations.
indeed.
No,
Oh,
that's not what I was
I'm
looking
so
for.
excited.
Severed heads. Can we get that? Let me put a severed head up.
Can't place
Can't
that
even
there,
tell.
my lord.
Apparently not. Oh, well. What can you do with this kind of stuff? Don't understand. If it won't go on a wall or on a barracks, where can I put it? I mean, the axe is if I could put it on the barracks here.
Can't place that there, my
But
lord.
I can't. All of my wood is gone. Okay. Time to delete woodcutters. And then I think we'll also be able to delete one hovel.
Needed, sire.
Simply don't need that anymore.
Ready, sir.
The enemy are attacking.
Yeah, we're pretty close. So there's a minute and 41 seconds left to go. So we're almost completed.
Immediately, sir.
Or
Yes,
not,
sir.
we're almost completed. The mission is almost completed. I think this right here is the last attack. Once we finish them all, then this mission will be successfully completed. Even on hard, this
Peasants
is
needed, sire.
relatively simple. Not asking for it to be harder, please. Do not make the game so buggy that I can't finish it on hard. That would be a shame. 'Cause, that was the objective here, was to actually complete all of the Stronghold games in the franchise on the hardest difficulty possible, sort of to prove my mastery of the campaigns. Obviously, it doesn't translate too well over into the multiplayer
We have
arena,
received word
but
that the
oh well.
baggage train is safe, sire. We can retire to the pass. They will not dare follow us there. Victory!
And that is a victory, so let's see here. We got a score. No, the scoreboard used to work, but then Firefly stopped maintaining it sometime like 2 years after the game was released, because the game got such consistently poor reviews. I don't think the score means anything anymore. Aside from like a throwback to the original Stronghold game. If you might recall, in the original Stronghold game, you would get graded. You would get graded at the end of every mission. So it's a little bit of a throwback. And originally, if I recall correctly, there was more to it. It would be registered in like a global kind of leaderboard, so you could actually compare your your achievements versus the scores of other players. But that scoreboard is long gone. I'm not even sure I fully remember how it was implemented anymore, because it was actually before I owned the game, regrettably. But anyway, let's continue on. That's certainly long enough for one episode. So thank you very much for watching, as always, and I hope to see you next time.